What if the secret to perfect sleep wasn't in some new app or a fancy mattress, but in a blueprint that's 1,400 years old? Well, today, we're putting that ancient wisdom to the test against modern science. We're going to explore a historical sleep routine and see how it aligns almost perfectly with our body's own internal clock.
So, this is the big question we're tackling, right? Could a practice from centuries ago really hold the secrets to better sleep, more energy, and just better health in our crazy modern world? Let's dive in and find out.
Okay, first things first, let's step back in time. Before we can even get into the biology of it all, we really need to understand the blueprint itself, this incredibly disciplined, time-tested approach to how we rest.
So this pattern, it's unbelievably structured. It kicks off with sleeping early, not too long after nightfall. Then you've got this wind-down period, avoiding a lot of late-night chatter and stimulation. This is followed by a planned wake-up call way before dawn. And finally, you start your day as the sun is rising. So it's not just about sleeping, you see. It's a very deliberate four-part cycle.
And this is the crucial point right here. It's not just about the quantity of sleep, getting your 8 hours in. The entire blueprint is built around the timing. It's about aligning when you sleep and when you wake with the natural rhythm of day and night. And that idea of timing is the perfect bridge to what we're talking about next.
Now let's pop the hood and look at the engine. We're about to dive into the incredible biological machinery that's running inside every single one of us. The hidden science that tells us when to feel tired and when to feel wide awake.
At the very heart of this is your circadian rhythm. Now, the easiest way to think about this is like a master clock in your brain that runs on a roughly 24-hour loop. And this clock, well, it's the boss. It tells your body when to release certain hormones, when to fire up your metabolism, and yeah, most importantly, when it's time to hit the hay.
And this whole system has two star players. On one side, you've got melatonin. You can call it the hormone of darkness. Your brain releases it when it gets dark outside to signal that, hey, bedtime is coming. On the other side, you have cortisol, the hormone of action. This one peaks in the morning to wake you up and get you moving. They're like a perfectly balanced team. All right, and here's where it all clicks into place. This is the big moment. We've looked at the ancient practice, we've covered the basic science. Now let's connect the dots and see just how shockingly well these two worlds line up. So, the first practice is pretty straightforward. Go to sleep shortly after it gets dark. But why? Why does that specific timing matter so much? It's because you are literally riding your body's natural wave of melatonin, that hormone of darkness. Going to sleep as it's being released means you get deeper, more restorative sleep. You are working with your biology, not constantly fighting against it.
Okay, now for the other side of the coin. What about waking up early? What's the science behind that piece of the puzzle?
It lines up perfectly. Your body's hormone of action, cortisol, naturally hits its peak in the morning to get you fired up for the day. So by waking up then, you're catching a natural wave of energy, which means better alertness and less of that awful morning grogginess. Okay, look at this. This slide is really the core of our entire explainer. Just look at how perfectly it all aligns. Sleeping early, that matches up exactly with melatonin release. Avoiding late-night light and activity, that stops you from confusing your master clock. Waking before dawn, that syncs perfectly with your body's cortisol response. And getting morning light when you start your day, that's the signal that resets the whole clock, keeping it perfectly tuned for the next 24 hours. It's a remarkable parallel.
So what's the big payoff here? Why does living in sync with your body's natural rhythm actually matter so much? Well, let's get into the real-world health benefits that this kind of alignment can bring. The benefits really start with your brain. That deep, slow-wave sleep that you tend to get earlier in the night, that's prime time for your brain to consolidate memories. Think of it like your brain is saving all the important files from the day. This leads to way better focus and less of that brain fog we all hate. And at the same time, your body is busy with crucial cellular repair work, basically rebuilding and strengthening your immune system while you sleep.
And it absolutely does not stop there. Aligning your sleep can help regulate your metabolism, which can cut down on those late-night snack cravings and improve how your body handles sugar. And psychologically, the effects are huge. Better sleep timing is directly linked to more stable moods and even a lower risk for certain mood disorders. Turns out our happiness is pretty deeply tied to that internal clock.
So let's bring this all back home, back to our modern 24/7 lives. How can we actually apply this ancient wisdom when we're surrounded by city lights, staring at screens, and dealing with demanding schedules?
Now, it is really crucial to be clear on this point. The original practice is rooted in spiritual guidance, first and foremost. The science that we've been talking about explores the fascinating physiological alignment. It's a correlation, not a claim that one caused the other.
And hey, let's be realistic. Modern life has its challenges, right? Demanding jobs, light pollution, and our own biology. Some of us are just genetically wired to be night owls, while others are morning larks. That's called your chronotype, and it is a very real thing. So the key takeaway here isn't about rigidly trying to imitate a 1400-year-old schedule down to the minute. It's about understanding the underlying principle, to do your best to work with your natural biology instead of constantly fighting a battle against it.
Which really just leaves us with one final thought. We all have this incredible, ancient rhythm that's hardwired into our biology, a clock that connects us to the cycles of the entire planet. The only real question is, are you listening to yours?